Hello, and my name is Nia Makin, and I'm 10 years old, and I like to develop iOS apps. You can download Factopia in the App Store to see my work. And I have not uploaded the Christmas special, but I'm making a Christmas-themed game to go to the App Store, and you guys can play that. I was planning that could be it, but yeah, I had made a small kind of, you could say, prototype right here. So you might be wondering why we're not with the the presentation. And that is because we have gone through all the basics. So now we are going to start to actually use an Xcode project. I know I've used them in the specials. You might not really know what they are. So in this video, we are going to look over what every tiny part of an Xcode project does and how it's used in your app. Okay, so an Xcode project is like an actual app. What we have been using is called a playground, where you can still test code, but it's not like you have your simulator, which looks like this big iPhone, on your computer. So it's like testing code. But we're going to open up a project here and look at what we do to either save a project or what's in the beginning to create a project. So we've been clicking this, get started with the playground. Let's now click create a new Xcode project. So now, what I was saying, at a playground, explore new ideas quickly and easily. So like if there's a new, you could say, function or new part of code, you can use that in the playground, see what it does, and then see if you could use that in your app. So a project is something that you can use to create an app for iPhone, iPad, Mac, Apple Watch, or Apple TV. This is where we have, you could say, like the main things. Like if you would play on games, like play a few games, this would be what you're making. And talking about games, there are actually multiple different formats. Just if that screen can show up, it's a template. So there's different types of applications you can use. A single view app, a game, a augmented reality app, a document-based app, a master detail app, a page-based app, a tabbed app, sticker pack app, or a message app. Now, we can go through most of these in this video, but I'll go through these three. I would think you would know these two, but let's just explain them once again. A single view app is like those regular apps you see, like you could say a water tracker. It's just that like single iPhone view. Sometimes you can click a button to go to like the next page, but that doesn't always have to be a page-based app. If it's based on these different pages, like you could say ebook, there's different pages, so it's catching data from something to put stuff on those pages. Then game, I think you would know what a game is. Tabbed app is like, you could say music, like a music app where you have cached music. You have your favorites, your history list, like YouTube. Sticker pack app, I'm not so sure. But an iMessage app would be like messages, texting. And then, yeah. Now, there's also libraries like Cocoa Touch, which is the main thing. And then a static library or a metal library. So these are more like the graphics part. Well, it does say that framework. So Cocoa Touch Standard. This is a little more high tech, and Metal would be like those realistic games where even the people look real. I mean, I would know a game that has that. I mean, you could say Fortnite, but yeah, the framework and library. Now, how about watchOS? Now, watchOS means it's your Apple Watch. So this is saying an iOS app with a WatchKit app. It's kind of like a single view application for a regular iPhone. It's for a watch. Now, same framework, it's just there isn't that high tech quality. See tvOS, which is for TV. So a single view app, a game, a tabbed app, and a TVML app. I think it's close to like those sticker pack apps. And speaking of sticker pack apps, I'm actually thinking a sticker pack app could be like a photo type app. So that may be what that is. Framework same as your iOS and macOS. What we're doing it on right now is called a Mac or MacBook. Yours could be a MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, and there are a lot more. So application, a Cocoa app. I think that would be a standard app for like a Mac. A game. I actually never knew there were games for Macs. And a command line tool. I mean, I've seen like that type of logo. There's something like called terminal on every single Mac. So I've seen that type of logo. I wouldn't know what that's for exactly. And as you can see here, a Mac has a lot more things in its library for framework. So there's a standard framework library, which I think it's a little advanced, a Metal library, which is the most advanced that we have seen lately, XPC service, and bundle. I feel like they must be like even better graphics. Like maybe Fortnite uses those, or any other apps. So I don't really know any other apps. And let's see other. An Apple script app. So I'm not really that sure what that could be. Script. Is it the same thing like reading text? It might be. A Safari extension app. This could be like, I think, Google or something like that. Or an extension to like Google or Safari when you have like those extensions in Google search. Automator action. Contacts action plugin. So it's something with contacts. General kernel extension. Image unit. This seems more like a photo. This seems more like those, kind of like a drive where you're caching things in. Instruments package. Would that be for like GarageBand? Something like that. IO kit driver. I'm not sure what that is. Preference pane. Quartz composer. This seems more like the art. Quick look. I think this would be like preview. It's kind of like Photoshop. And then screensaver. I think you would know what that is. Like your background for your screen. And lastly, cross-platform. A cross-platform game. Like Fortnite, it's for iOS. It's for macOS. It is for Android also. So that could be one thing, but it's mainly for iOS, macOS, which could show how it's a cross-platform game. And other. Just an empty blank app. And you just add what you want. An external built system. That seems interesting. And in-app purchase content. That means if you want like people to buy stuff in your app, then you can have that. So yeah. We're just gonna stick with a single view app. Now here's another thing. Okay, so we have a product name, a team, an organization name, which is kind of like your organization or like company, you could say, organization identifier, bundle identifier. We're gonna need this, and your language, we're using Swift, and there's another language you can use for iOS, which is called Objective-C. And then this is, usually, if you want to make like a real published app, you would want all of these, but not for like test apps, but like UI test, and UI stands for user interface. So maybe I think it could be send it to like a phone, and then they could like test it. But yeah. So product name, you can name it whatever you want, and that also changes your bundle identifier. So, what should we name this? We'll just name it sample app. Okay. Now there are different things for like teams. Usually, if you have this for your like developer, and if you have a developer account, since you're using it, you'll have a team. But yes, since I had made Factopia with this team, I think, then I usually use that for my test apps. So, organization name, just my name. And what you can have here, and you do not have to write anything there, just it automatically takes it in from your product name. So it creates your identifier, which could help you in releasing your app. And yeah, that's mostly it. Next. Here's just saving it wherever you want. I have made a folder called samples, and I have a lot of different test apps. And we have now gotten into the true real project. Now, if you see this symbol right over here, right around there, I don't know if zooming in is a... Oh, wow. I'm surprised my computer is very laggy. Well, if you see this small symbol over here, it's like the project symbol. So we have our project. Display name, sample app. Well, we're not actually releasing this. And our bundle identifier, it's right there. Version and our build. That all comes when you have your developer account and you're saying you have this many builds. So automatically manage signing. This is for profiles, IDs, and certificates. So it's kind of like automatically doing it for you, and you don't have to do it you don't have to do that much about it. Your team, this is all put in. Deployment target, you can set it to, I guess, any of these. The minimum you can go to is 8. So I'm going to just say go for the highest versions. Okay, devices universal. Oh, this would mean like kind of, it could be iPods too, just not always iPhone and iPad for the iOS system. Main interface, main launch screen, storyboard, main. Device orientation. Portrait. That means it's just straight. It could be upside down. And landscape left would be like that. And landscape would, well, left would be. And then right would be. I'm doing this as a mirror, so I might be incorrect. Status bar style. Default. Light. I think that's. Oh, okay. Like, it's kind of like this bar. So, you want it to be, like, not even shown in your app, or it can? So, yeah. App icons. These are all for assets. Embed binaries. We don't need anything there. Linked framework and libraries means, like, different frameworks. And what I will do, it's really, really laggy. I'm going to change it to the XS Max. I don't know. I just want to see how this phone looks in the simulator. And yeah, so that is the main project of what we're here for. Also, there's these over here. These are snippets, which is like defining things, which these are in more different languages, so we don't have to worry about that. Wait, is it still there? No, it's not. Okay. Let's see. This is just our side right. Or nothing just there. It's just our regular screen. This is our assistant editor, where if we're in our main storyboard, let's say, or anywhere, let's say, okay, it's gonna load. And we want to open our code, but not always go back and forth, and we want to try to connect a variable from your main storyboard to your view controller. Then you could open up your assistant editor, control, drag, whatever, into your assistant editor. That's not how you do it, but if you click it, here you can like add outlets. And that's mainly what the assistant editor is for. And here, sample application, nothing to worry about that. You could say it's compatible with other ones too. I usually want to say it's 9.3 because 10 is really, really, like, I mean, I say it would take a lot of space too. Organization, Umaken, we don't really need this either. Text settings, indent using spaces. Yeah. Wait, indent. We can use tabs, I guess, but let's just keep it to what it is. Width for indent for wrap lines. Not really needed that much. And this is quick help. And yes. And this is more of what's used for your main storyboard. So I'm going to take that out. And these buttons are for that. That's for that. This is for bottom layer. And we are done with that. Now, here in the app delegate.swift. I mean, whenever I use my app, or am making my app, I have never touched anything in the app delegate. So I wouldn't say it's going to be that much of a use to most people, but sometimes if we need different things, then probably you would want to. And our view controller. So we have our view controller, which holds most of our code. Now, you also might see this in Playground, but I always delete it. This is saying import UI kit. That means we're importing a library which holds functions and other commands, you could say. So here's our class. Well, no, our library holds some classes, and our classes hold some functions and things that we can do with it. And we have this override function view did load. This is technically stating what it says. Once the view has fully loaded, then we'll first show this. Now this is how programming, which is this, is logical thinking. So, like, do any other things once the view has loaded, and then start your process of like different buttons and other things you can do. So there still is like print commands working, or like, yeah. But this is what it is for. Now your main storyboard, which I would say is like one of the most complex areas of your app. And we have a lot of places to go through. This is identity and type, which not really used that much, but it's just to identify things, and you could say set things to other things. And this would be the identity inspector, as it says. So if we have a button and we want to define it, we would do it here. These are, is it the attributes inspector? I'm not fully sure. Yes, the attributes inspector. So this is where we can set like colors, shadows, hidden, opaque, and yeah. This is the size inspector, which is width, height, and its position. And this is where we have different outlets coming. Now that's all set. Over here, auto layout issues, which is related to our constraints. Constraints are like positioning it in a spot that it has to be there the entire time. Even if you set any other part of code there, it'll still stay. This is more of height and width. And this is to embedded, which is not needed. Zooming, view as whatever you want here. And there's different orientations also. So yeah. And I have actually always, I think you just clicked that. There we go. Okay, now here we have this. Our Viewcontroller Scene, which is our main app there, our Viewcontroller. This is our scene part of what we're seeing. And our Viewcontroller. And here's our view, where most of the things happen. Safe area is this right over here. And in our safe area, we really, I say you should keep it in your app. It's not always needed, but it's just like the time and battery. Usually people would like that, but not always. First responder and exit. Not really what you need, but comes with it just in case. And your storyboard entry point, saying that this is the first thing that you should go to when you run. Here, there are a lot of different things. We can either go through this in a different video, probably will, but yeah. Okay, so now we're here at the assets.xc, which stands for Xcode, assets.xc Xcode assets. So now assets are like your icons. So let's like drag in an image. Search from Google Chrome. Let's say I really don't know. Sample app. Something will. Wow, sample app. There we go. Now let's search that. Click an image. Here we go. We have an icon. Some random icon. Save our image. I'm just going to name it sample icon. And I'm going to save it in my downloads because I just downloaded it. Okay, and now we are going to open up Finder. Open up our downloads. And it is this image, I believe. Yes, it is. Now click on it and drag it. Once Xcode is here, say we want to drag it in. And we want to bring that into that. Oh, we just made a duplicate. Let's remove selected items, app icon. We are going to actually wondering why that does not work. But I think you would get the point. This is like for different icons. Like if you have a notification, like those bars that come down. Here are the two different sizes you could do. You print that in, you drag it. Might not be working right now. Here's settings, spotlight, and yeah. So I would say you get this by now. Our launch screen storyboard. Now, this seems a lot like the symbol is the same as the main storyboard. But the launch screen storyboard is when you first open the app. Then, like, you could say that first screen you see, like it has the app icon with it, and then you are able to go into the real part of the app. So, if we add something into our launch screen storyboard, so we add a label. Search up label. And did it drag in there? Oh, I don't think it did. Grab that, grab the label, stick it in. Now we have a label. Now let's name this actually, let's just keep it like that. So, we're actually going to add something into our main storyboard. Another label. Let's like center that. And it's going to be a little cool, but I'm actually going to move this also into the center, right about there. And we'll run that a little after. And here we have the info.plist. Here's where all that certificate and all that comes in. And that's all for publishing your app. And that could all be explained in a separate video. But, yeah. And we also have bundle identifiers. Well, bundle versions, our bundle display name. Yes, so this is all what we need to publish our app. And then this, I think this is new to Xcode because I've actually never used this. Core data model identifier, we know that. Quick help, and what is this? I just keep my mouse on it, see what it says. Wait, and that shows the data model expector. I think so. Then it's probably saying things related to data. So yeah. And you might be wondering why there are like M's here. These are for what I did in some of the video, in the more of the beginning of the video. We had saved it, and on the bottom it had said create a git repository. I'll just say it like that. Create a git repository, which is local, so you can't go back. So that's just doing, you could save your code in source control, commit these 6 files, add a comment, and just commit them. So they are modified. Now if we had kind of like our own private git repository, then we can go back and look at that code or put that code in, but it's kind of like traveling through what you've done in the past. Products, simple app, nothing really. And let's actually now run it. I don't know why I done that, but running. So it's building our sample app. And that's why we have our simulator. I don't know if this is the iPhone. It's the iPhone XR. So it's going to be making a newer simulator. Should be popping up soon. Right there. iPhone XS Max. I really don't think this... Oh, yeah. This is definitely the XS Max. It was looking like a different phone, and then they literally look the same. I'm actually a little confused on what is the difference between these two. I mean, all I know, the iPhone XS Max has 3D touch. And I don't know if the iPhone XR has it. No. Okay, so it does not have 3D touch. This one does. It's technically the iPhone XS Max. And it's just gonna load, unload, just to turn on. So, yeah. I mean, for customizations and depending on how you like the phone, a lot of people, for some reason, would prefer the, oh, well, this is open, but they would prefer, hello, that's our launch screen, right there, and you might be wondering why is it off place. That is because I'm actually wondering why is the launch screen taking so long. Because in our main storyboard we say to make it look like it's an iPhone 8, and that would be positioned a little bit up because it's smaller. So yes. I want to see if I shrink this, how big can this get? I'm going to move that all the way over there. Is this what we had done, or? I do not know. Let's check our main storyboard again. World. Hello. Don't know what that is there. I'm opening up something else. Xcode Simulator. Oh, well. So it was just taking a little longer. Probably because this is really laggy and plus my computer is heating up. And that's probably fine. It's just you would want to close it, turn it back on again. It's kind of like a refresh. And that is mostly all what I wanted to talk about in this video. Okay, now this is actually my intros for my regular videos, but instead of making sure before you watch the video to leave a like and subscribe to see more videos about iOS development, stay tuned by hitting the bell, and I just really hope that you would do that in the beginning too. It's just, this is my intro usually, and it won't be the same intro. I think the next video will probably be kind of the same. It's going to be an intro to another source of development by Xcode, but it's going to be something you'll probably like. It's going to be how to make